You know, the world is really retarded sometimes. And not in the mental way, well, kind of the mental way, but like the new mental way. Like, there was a time when people said retarded, they just meant you were stupid. Now it's associated with mental illness. I think there's a mental illness with the world at this point. And I agree with Mr. H. Review. We live in a clown world. We live in a clown world of, I almost want to say, biblical proportions. It's like imagine the Great Flood, but instead of water drowning people, people are being drowned with stupidity. And there's no end in sight. Like, I'm starting to agree with It's a Gundam. I think we are living in the ending period of the old Roman Republic. Because we've gotten so decadent and we have forgotten what it's like to have problems that we do stupid stuff to relieve our boredom. And at this point, I'm almost hoping America collapses like the Roman Republic does, because at this point, it deserves to fall. It deserves to collapse. It deserves everything it gets, because we have gotten so out of line and have lost our, place in the world that we do stupid stuff. And, yeah, we do stupid stuff like canceling people we disagree with. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, I'll just say it bluntly, if the title of the video didn't give it away. Gina Carano was fired by Disney for a tweet she made on some site, and people took it way out of context. Disney lied about what she said, calling it abhorrent, saying she was people are saying she compared Republicans to Jews in the Holocaust. She didn't. She was comparing Republicans to Jews in the lead up to the Holocaust, because, believe it or not, the Nazis didn't just round up all the Jews and put them in camps. There was a slow buildup. Over time, the Germans turned on their neighbors who were Jewish. This was something Carano put up in her tweet. It wasn't the Nazis who made everything bad outright. Now, first, the Germans turned on their own neighbors, people they had known for years who were Jewish, and they harassed them. They beat them. They did horrible things to them, and they got away with it. About the closest thing to reparations the Jews got for it was some of the Germans had to bury the Jews of the Holocaust. And it was disgusting. And I can see a parallel to what's going on in America now, because if you are a Republican in Hollywood, you get blacklisted. If you are a Trump supporter, you are lied about and slandered. They treat you like the devil, like you're worse than the devil, like you're Arden Azunia. Actually, I wouldn't mind being treated like Arden Azunia. He's actually pretty cool. And it's just insane how it happens. And people on the left, they joke about putting us in camps. Like me, Trump supporters, and Republicans, they joke about putting us in re-education camps, or camps in general that are probably no different from concentration camps, just because we have a different political opinion. And if you don't like Trump supporters, that is fine. You are not forbidden from disliking someone, but Trump supporters have the right to exist and to live their lives, which is something that leftists seem to disagree with wholeheartedly. And it's not like this was anything new for Gina Carano. She had been getting harassed by these people for years. I mean, she got harassed for not putting pronouns in her bio, for not saying Black Lives Matter, for mentioning the election might have been rigged, or like saying stuff. She was also saying stuff about the beer bug that was sounding insane, and people were mad at her about that. And all I can really say is, yeah, fuck you, Disney, for your hypocrisy, because I should know scratch that there's not enough alcohol in the world for me to do that. But another thing is, this was done to placate a mob, and Disney is not looking good when they placate a mob. They look very bad right about now, and I hope they suffer some backlash for this. I really do. I mean, I was looking forward to the Bad Batch and the Book of Boba Fett, but now I am not giving them a dime. If anything, I'll be sailing the seven seas. Hoist the Jolly Roger and prepare the Pirates of the Caribbean theme music, because I am setting sail. I'd rather do that than give Disney a dime or a dollar. And I'm encouraging everyone else that I know not to do the same as well, because Disney are hypocrites. I mean, they thanked the CCP for letting them film near one of their concentration camps, and are fine with the Ouijis or Ouijers being put in concentration camps, having their organs removed against their will and being transplanted into someone else. But they'll take a moral stand against a guy in suntan spray for doing sane stuff. Well, arguably sane stuff. And the only reason they're doing this is because they want that China money. Like they love sucking off that China dick. So it kind of explains why they're willing to let China do whatever they want. And it's not just that Gina Carano was fired. She was also let go by her agency and has probably been banned from Hollywood, so she might not get work in the entertainment industry for a while. She might have to move to... Well, actually, I hear there are some moves to make another Hollywood, because there used to be two Hollywoods at one point. There was a right-wing Hollywood and a left-wing Hollywood, but the right-wing one, it teetered out of existence. It did not do well, and everyone had to go work in the one Hollywood, which unfortunately has never had much competition, so they got arrogant and thought, we can do whatever we want, we have carte blanche. And another thing that just annoys me about this is they're siding with liars and frauds and pathetic losers online who have no lives. I mean, they're doing the things they probably say us gamers and comic book fans do whenever we complain about their bullshit. They're saying, oh, you're just geeks and man babies who live in your mother's basements. Well, I could say the same thing about the SJWs who lied about Carano constantly. They call her a racist, a sexist, a misogynist. They dehumanize her. They're doing the stuff that the Nazis did. They dehumanized the Jews and made their own neighbors turn on them. I mean, nothing can be worse than being called a Nazi. Just imagine that. Being called what do you do to Nazis? You shoot them. They were evil. We can all agree on that. Nazis were evil pieces of shit. Most of the time. Some of them probably had legitimate reasons for doing the shit they did. But... well, actually, no, not legitimate. It was still messed up, but they probably had personal motivations for why they did the stuff they did. Some of them, I think, did it because they thought they were getting their country back, because they were humiliated after the First World War, and they would do anything to get their country back to the way it was. Unfortunately, that meant electing a madman. Kind of like the left today. They elected a madman, and it kind of shows how out of reality and how insane they are. Like, they've gone beyond insane. They have transcended insanity into God tiers level of insanity. They lie about people. They're so desperate to cancel people now, they try using fake tweets on Chris Pratt. Like, he's probably next. They smell blood in the water, and they realize, hey, we got rid of Gina Carano, so maybe we can get rid of Chris Pratt. And they probably will at some point, because I would not put it past Disney to do that. Or Marvel. Because they sound like the same kind of spineless cowards. The only time they stand up for someone is if it's one of their own. And by one of their own, I mean, like, look at the James Gunn situation. Then they stand up for people. Chris Pratt, they stand up because, well, Robert Downey Jr. actually seems like a decent guy. And they might just like Chris Pratt, so that's why they're standing up, why they stood up for him. Gina Carano didn't have as many people standing up for her. And it's bullshit. It's bullshit center square, and I hope Disney loses a lot of money for this. And I also hope Carano can bounce back from this in some way, because people who stand up to political correctness and cancel culture, they tend to do okay. Like, they tend to become fan favorites of people, or they're respected and well-loved. And while I may not love Carano, because I'm more of a redheaded kind of guy, or a redhead fan, I do respect her. She seems to have her head on straight. She has a good head on her shoulders. And she sounds like someone you would want to get along with. I would also bet money that the people who tried to cancel her are some ugly-ass women and some men who have no shot at getting a real girlfriend and have no lives. I would bet money on that. Like, all the money I have in my change jar, I would bet money on that these people have no lives, they're bored out of their minds, and they got nothing better to do. In a nutshell, they're pathetic losers who hopefully will not contribute to the gene pool. And this also kind of illustrates more hypocrisy from Disney, because they had no problem with Pedro Pascal. He compared Trump supporters to Nazis and the Confederacy. They let him stay on, even though he probably alienated some fans. But Gina Carano, who said way less offensive shit, is the one they give the boot to. This kind of just shows how hypocritical and what an utter joke Disney's higher-ups are. And how they do things. They are a bad joke. And one of these days, I just look forward to the day when someone has that one bad day and they snap and they turn on Disney and they bring them down to their knees. I would love to see that day. Just bend them over a barrel and show them the 50 fucking states. Though, to be fair, there's also one other side of this I've been seeing online, which came from Weaponized Nerd Rage, is that they stood by Gina Carano for years on this. Well, not years, but they stood by her on this for a while. And just now they're turning on Carano. Like, something must be going on. Like, there might be another side of this we aren't hearing about, which I would love to hear. If so, I would take back anything I've said if they had a legitimate reason for lying about her and firing her. Because they did lie about what she said in their statement. Because, yeah, no, just read the tweet that she put up, or I think she put up, either there or she was retweeting it. Because it was on a site I don't use. But she put that up. And it seemed innocuous. It seemed harmless. I don't see why people were pissed about it. I mean, I can read some of it right now. Jews were beaten in the streets, not by Nazi soldiers, but by their neighbors, even by children. Because history is edited, most people today don't realize that to get to the point where Nazi soldiers could easily round up thousands of Jews, the government first made their own neighbors hate them simply for being Jews. How is any of this different from hating someone for their political views? That's all that was said in the tweet. And again, that seems pretty harmless compared to Pedro Pascal's tweet. And that's all I can really say on that, is if Disney had a real justification for doing this shit, I might listen to them. But yeah, Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni, you came out looking like 7 shades of dickheads for this, if you let this happen. Bob Iger and Kathleen Kennedy, I have no respect for them. They are scummy as can be. I mean, I look at Bob Iger, and he looks like a scumbag. He looks like a douche. I mean, he screwed over George Lucas, of all people, with the deal they made. And he's probably just thinking, oh, well, I did everything to the letter of what our agreement was. I mean, that's what the law says. It's like that Bill Burr joke. That's what the law says. I mean, 100 years ago, I could beat you over the head with a mop, and it could say, that's what the law says, to borrow a joke from Bill Burr. So that's kind of my view of Bob Iger and how I think he's an absolute scumbag and a douchebag of the highest caliber. Kathleen Kennedy's just, well, she's a feminazi. There's no other way to describe her. But yeah, my overall thoughts on the situation is that it's bullshit. What happened to Carano was bullshit. I hope she bounces back from this. And I hope Disney and the entertainment industry get some self-earned karma for this. And that's my overall thought on the situation. Sorry about that ramble, but... And I have no idea if I'm going to post this or not, but you know what? Fuck it. Those are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments. And remember, the game was obviously rigged from the start. And again, I will say this for the few times I've said it, pray for sanity, because we desperately need it.